All right, game three of the NBA Finals, and we have a series. It is tied 1-1. Been a pretty good series so far. Again, we had Boston take over in the fourth quarter, game one. Golden State take over in the third quarter in game two. So hoping this one comes down to the wire here in game three. But yeah, we do have big contest up top still. $250K, two first over on DraftKings for the big showdown slate. But before we get into the video, if you guys are a first-time viewer, welcome to my channel. Again, my name is DK, and I do cover content for DraftKings, Prize Picks, NBA Top Shot, and for Super Draft. Super Draft is the sponsor of this video. Make sure to use the code DKDFS for a $50 match on a $50 deposit. It is linked down below. They do a player prop contest as well as multiplier format contests. So check that out. You can win up to 20 extra money playing their player prop stuff. And if you guys are looking for more in-depth content for DFS, you can check out my Patreon, link down below. NBA, USFL, and esports package. Esports has been going very well for us, Call of Duty. So again, if you're interested in that, you can check it out, linked in the description. But let's take a look at my lineup here from last game before we go over the salaries for game three. So went very, very well. Was on pace to take down this tournament, this $100 single entry tournament. But unfortunately, the game blew out, and a couple people with Jordan Poole passed me. Now, Jordan Poole was a guy I liked if you watched my YouTube video, game two, but he just didn't make it in my lineup. But yeah, Poole played very well in the blow. It was a little bit tilting how, you know, the both teams kind of waved the white flag, but a few starters, a few main guys have played a majority of the fourth quarter, like Poole played the whole fourth quarter. KLAY Thompson played a majority. KEVON LOONEY came back in at like 6 steals. Just don't get me started there. Derek White played for a while too, so was a little bit tilting to watch that, go down a little bit in the winnings, but still had a really solid night. So hoping to keep it going. Gary Payton was the punt play that I liked the best, just because we got the news once Iguodala is out and we got that confirmation from Steve Kerr's going to be in the rotation. He was the guy I liked the best, and that came through in a big way. All right, but let's first start off with the Golden State side. So Steph Curry has played extremely well first two games of the finals, going for 56 and 50 fantasy points. He's really been, carrying the team offensively, shooting the ball relatively well, getting some assists. He's been, rebounding the ball at a decent rate as well. So I have no issue with Steph Curry. Obviously, Boston's, one of the best defensive teams, but Steph has still found a way to put up, good performances in game one and game two. So yeah, like Steph still at the top. Here, let's just go, by salary instead of team by team. We have Tatum right below Steph at 10.8K. So I do think Tatum's still a little bit safer with the peripheral stats. A little bit of a better rebounder. He had 13 assists last game, which, game one, I should say, which we probably don't get again. But Tatum's a little bit better of stuff in the stat sheet. So I think he's a little bit safer than Steph. Both obviously have a ceiling. And then Jaylen Brown's, $1,400 cheaper than Tatum. He's a guy that a little bit of a lower floor than Tatum, but I would say a similar ceiling. Brown can go for 50 plus as well. So like the main three guys, I have no issue with any of them, and Curry, Tatum, and Brown. And the salaries are still not, it's not super tough to get, the top three guys in your lineup if you want to do that. So, the main three guys I think all look pretty good. Smart and Horford are both very bad in game two. So I do think that will drop the ownership. Smart only played 25 minutes, dealt with some foul trouble. Al Horford only shot 4 times. Again, I said, I was like, I don't think he's going to shoot 9 of 12 again. He did not. He shot 1 of 4. So I do think what's going to happen is you're going to see pretty low ownership on both those guys. But, they're going back home now. And I think they're good candidates for bounce back games. So I do expect Marcus Smart to probably play, 35 to 40 minutes in a competitive game. And Horford, probably similar run. Rob Williams has been pretty banged up. So the two Boston mid-range guys who struggled, I like his bounce-back candidates, and I do think they'll come into less ownership. KLAY Thompson has been really, really bad first couple games so far in the finals, especially last game, 4 of 19 shooting. The price point is still not bad, though, on KLAY. It's just a situation where he can still hurt you. But the ceiling is clearly there. So if KLAY has one of his good games, where he goes to 45 fantasy points, he's going to blow the salary out of the water. So it's just basically the same thing I always say with KLAY is, once every 3, 4, or 5 games, he's going to have that good game. But, more often than not, if you're playing single entry stuff, he's going to let you down. So it just depends on your risk tolerance if you want to go there, because most of the time it's going to hurt you, but the times he comes through, it's going to come through in a big way. And then, the other two mid-range options here with Wiggins and Draymond, I think both look pretty good. Draymond Green, I've been very high on him this series just because, the minutes have been trending down for Looney. They've been trending up for Draymond, which just means more Draymond Green at the 5, which boosts his rebounding numbers. I just think it helps Draymond overall, fantasy-wise. So I still like Draymond here at 7K. Just got to hope he doesn't get ejected. Had to sweat that a little bit in game 2 of him, possibly getting ejected there. And then Wiggins, he's been relatively aggressive on the offensive end. Had a subpar game last game, but for the playoffs, for the most part, he's been pretty consistent. So he's kind of just there for me. I'm not going to prioritize him, but last piece in, sure, it's been killing me. But I will continue to fade KEVON Looney. If he continues to go for 5 steals and blocks a game, I'll just continue to lose. He only played 21 minutes last game, and he played in some garbage time. So the minutes were definitely trending down on Looney, which we thought they would. But he just fell into like 5 steals. So I'll continue to fade. If the Looney people continue to get there, I'll be in so much pain because they really deserve to be punished severely. If you continue to play KEVON Looney, you deserve to be punished. So hopefully that's in game 3 because I'll be on the all-out fade once again. Jordan Poole, 6'4", so he had a bounce-back game. And, he came in at pretty low ownership because of the bad game 1. And we were expecting that, right? Because that's kind of what we've seen all playoffs long is, 1 or 2 games, people overreact to it, and then ownership drops. So here's the thing with Jordan Poole. He only played 23 minutes, and he did play basically the entire 4th. So that is a little bit concerning. That is. You saw Gary Payton play a good chunk in the first half. So it is a little bit concerning with the minutes here for Poole. If Gary Payton is going to play kind of what he did last game. So there is risk with Poole, but the ceiling is still there. It's just, again, a high-risk play. Rob Williams, he just does not look like himself at all. Only played 14 minutes. It's just a GPP play. They said they want to cap his minutes at kind of 20 to 25. He only played 14 last game. If he plays well, maybe he could play a little bit more again. He's obviously a guy that can get those blocks and steals, but just worried about his health, right? And then Derek White, I think he's going to be a pretty popular play, but I think he continues to play around 30 minutes in the series. He just matched up well against Golden State. He can, they can throw him on Steph at times, and Smart's not out there. He's been shooting the ball pretty well. He can get some assists as well. So I think Derek White's a pretty safe play here at 5.8K. My only concern with him is I think he's going to be pretty popular. And then Otto Porter did only play 15 minutes last game. That was a little bit concerning. However, the blowout, right, I think he probably would have got one more shift there in the 4th quarter if it wasn't for the blowout. So maybe we would have got about 20 minutes in Porter if the game did not blow out. And I think he's a fair value play, right? A guy that, has been playing pretty well in the playoffs, can get some rebounds, get some steals. Last game's minutes, like I said, a little bit concerning, but I still think he's a decent option. Williams, Pritchard, I think more contrarian plays, that being Grant Williams and Peyton Pritchard. You did see 21 minutes from Grant Williams. Again, though, he did play a decent chunk in that blowout. He's shown a pretty low floor, going for 11, 8, 19, and 6, and 12 fantasy points over the last 5 games. He's kind of a guy that needs the minutes to be there. Now, he's also dealt with some foul trouble, like I said, has not played very well. But if someone at Boston gets in some foul trouble, you could see Grant Williams play a bit more. So I think he's not out of play, but definitely more of a contrarian play. Then Peyton Pritchard, a good point per minute guy, played 19 minutes. Again, played a good chunk of the blowout as well. Again, in competitive game, how many minutes does he play, right? He did play 16 in game 1, but he did play very well in that 4th quarter. So Pritchard intrigues me because he's a guy that if he does fall into some more minutes, like if you get Marcus Smart foul trouble again, or, someone gets, again, injured or something, like if he somehow finds a way into more minutes, he's a guy that is a good point per minute guy. So I always, like playing guys like that because they can produce in limited minutes. And if they do find their way into more minutes, they could have a really, really big game. And then we've got to talk about a couple of punt plays here. So, first of all, to keep an eye on the status of Iguodala. He got ruled out for game 2 with knee inflammation. We'll see if he's available for game 3. If he's available for game 3, it's really going to make Peyton and Bielitsa a lot riskier. If he's out, then I think Gary Payton's a solid play here at 3K. Again, he also played a decent chunk in the blowout, but played a lot in that first half. A decent defender, a guy that can get those peripheral stats. So I like Gary Payton a decent amount if Iguodala doesn't play. And then I was a little bit surprised we saw Bielitsa in the regular rotation. Played 11 minutes. That did surprise me. I thought we would only get 8 guys from Golden State. We saw 9 in the rotation, in the regular rotation at least. So if Iguodala's out again, can you take a shot and be Bjelica? Sure. I mean, he is a good point per minute guy. I'm not convinced he plays again in Game 3, but I was surprised. I did not think he was going to play Game 2, and he did. So I do think he's at least in consideration. And I also was pretty surprised Daniel Tice played. I know he played, a bit in the blowout too, but he played in the first half. And I don't know why Daniel Tice is getting rotation minutes right now. But he is only 1.6K, so I thought I'd mention that. And everyone else basically would only play in a blowout. Like, if you, for some reason, if you think this game blows out, you can look to a guy like Kuminga, who is a good point per minute guy, but don't expect him to play in the regular game. Again, Iguodala will keep an eye on it. If he's available, the tricky part is if he's available, like, how much does he play, right? So that is pretty important news for the status of Iguodala here for Game 3, but other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. So, again, if you do enjoy these YouTube videos breaking down the showdown slates, just make sure to leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, getting close to 12,000. Hit the notification bell as well, just so you know when I do upload videos and go live. But other than that, guys, that'll do it for me. So, good luck. Hope you guys win some big money, and I'll see you all in the next video.